Here are some body language tips for difficult conversations. Now, it may be you leading the conversation, it may be the other person leading the conversation. One thing you need to do, whichever position you are in, is be prepared mentally for how it could go anyway. It could go well, it could go poorly, but prepare yourselves. Practice is the best thing. Imagine that conversation. If you feel comfortable, go to a mirror and talk to that person in the mirror, and play your part and play their part, and imagine how it can go. When you want to calm the situation down, maybe repeat some words back to them and just say, this is what I've heard you say, and repeating those words back to them will make them feel heard, will make them feel seen, and that you're really listening and paying attention, and that you're giving this situation the importance that it needs. Oftentimes that can absolutely change the whole dynamic. I had someone message me a couple of weeks ago now via email, and they had a tricky situation at work. So this young lady had felt quite threatened by the behaviour of an unknown gentleman that worked in her building, and he was quite aggressive, asking her to prove who she was, and yet she obviously worked in the building because she was collecting her car. He was quite threatening, which then upset her quite a lot. So she reported this behaviour to HR. Now HR, instead of just saying to her, right, we can see that that's really upset you and you felt upset, and we'll have a chat to the other person and just see where we go from there, they laughed. The HR person actually laughed at her, and this young lady felt very invalidated and that she wasn't being taken seriously. And she went higher with this, and this situation escalated massively, which she really didn't need to do. All that needed to happen was for the HR person to say, I can see that's really upset you, and I can hear that you felt threatened in this situation. Now the HR person in that situation wasn't saying yes, this other person was wrong. What they were doing was validating the young lady that had reported the incident, and that would have been the end of the situation. But because she didn't feel validated and she didn't feel seen or heard, she escalated it much higher, and it created this whole situation that just didn't need to be. So think about your communications, think about what's going on around you and difficult conversations. When you make people feel seen and heard, sometimes, not always, but sometimes that's enough to calm a situation down.